my research question, I did what is the relationship between parental incarceration and juvenile criminal behavior? Introduction. Parental incarceration. In a report prepared for the Annie E. Casey Foundation, which is a foundation to help at-risk children, 55% of prisoners in state penitentiaries and 63% of prisoners in federal penitentiaries had children under the age of 18. Parental absence and parental influences must be considered in juvenile criminal behavior. Parental absence can lead to many factors that can cause a child to commit a type of delinquent act. Criminal juvenile behavior. Researchers support the belief that children with incarcerated parents are more at risk for developing personal and economic setbacks. They are also at risk for experiencing behavioral and emotional problems and to use illegal drugs, commit juvenile delinquency, and social stigma. Review of research studies on parental incarceration. Prior to being incarcerated, many parents lived with their child. According to a study performed by the Bureau of Justice Statistics, 64% of mothers and 44% of fathers lived with their child prior to being locked up. Many people who are incarcerated have children. 250,000 American children are estimated to have a mother in jail, and another 150,000 have a mother in prison. Review of research studies on juvenile criminal behavior. Many factors influence juvenile delinquency. Juvenile delinquency has been tied to a wide variety of factors. A few examples of this could be personality, impulsivity, and intelligence. It could also be socioeconomic and community influences. And last, it could be family circumstances, which are identified as one of the leading predictors of delinquent behaviors. Many children under the age of 18 are incarcerated in juvenile jails and prisons. On any given day, nearly 60,000 children under the age of 18 are incarcerated in juvenile jails and prisons. Review of research studies on the relationship between parental incarceration and juvenile criminal behavior. Parental incarceration factors that may lead to juvenile delinquency. Spouses of incarcerated people may not be able to adequately supervise their children, leading to increased opportunities for juvenile delinquency and criminal behavior later in life. Incarcerated parents are usually housed far away from home, and phone calls are expensive. This leads to limited financial resources of the children's caregivers and could lead to less communication with their parents. Whether the mother or father is incarcerated can have an effect on a child differently. Absent fathers may increase likelihood that male adolescents may leave home earlier than desired and may develop unhealthy association with delinquent peers. Children with absent fathers may also have less attachment, resulting in emotional instability and lowered job prospects. When mothers are incarcerated, the children are usually placed in custody of relatives who are sometimes unprepared both emotionally and financially to take care of the children. Methodology. Participants. There were 50 fathers of children aged 15 to 18 who had been incarcerated, and another 50 of fathers who have not been incarcerated. There were 50 mothers of a child between 15 and 18 years old who had been incarcerated, and another 50 who had never been incarcerated. For the children participants, there was 100 children who had parents that had been incarcerated, and another 100 who have never had a parent that was incarcerated. For the recruitment of the participants, there was random recruitment done from both high and low income neighborhoods. I also recruited from the high school I attended. Instruments to measure X and Y. The children were given the Things That You Have Done scale, which is a 17-question questionnaire scale about whether they have committed certain juvenile delinquent acts. It addresses areas such as physical aggression, stealing, vandalism, and substance abuse. The parents were given a one-question survey whether they had been incarcerated or not. Data collection steps. To get the participants to participate, they would be entered into a drawing for a $100 cash prize. When they decided to participate, they were given a consent form. The children were given a consent form, and the parents of the children were given a consent form as well, since they were under the age of 18. After that, the participants were given their surveys. When I received the results, I would then compare the results of the parents who had been incarcerated children to the parents who had never been incarcerated children, and I would look at the difference. For my data analysis, I looked at the descriptive statistics. A descriptive statistic is a summary that describes or summarizes features of a collection of information and then analyzes what the information means. In my data collection, I had 50% of the participants were female, 50% were male, and 100 were children aged 15 to 18 whose parents also participated. For my data analysis, I also looked at the multivariate statistic. To look further at the data and statistics, I looked at the regression between parental incarceration history and juvenile criminal behavior. A regression is a measure of a relationship between two or more variables, in this case, parental incarceration and juvenile criminal behavior. If the parent had ever been incarcerated, they were given a score of 1. If they had never been incarcerated, they would be given a score of 0. The children's score would be based off of how many delinquent acts that they had committed from their scale. A regression line was done after looking at the data, which made it clear that there was a positive relationship between parental incarceration and juvenile criminal behavior. A positive relationship means that as one variable goes up or increases, the other variable also increases. In our case, as parental incarceration had occurred, juvenile criminal behavior had also increased.